So we're on week 3 of the collab channel, Ftmuk, and this week's topic is about how do you ID, which I'm assuming means identify. For me, identifying as who I am, when I first started to learn about the whole transgendered world, if you want to put it that way, I didn't realise how much of a spectrum there was. I thought there was only you're either one or the other. You're not allowed to be somewhere in between. And I think that's what confused me the most. Started to read up on it and talk to some other people out and find out stuff about it for myself, and I realised that there is a huge spectrum of gender. It's infinite possibilities that you can be. So for me, although I do identify as a transgendered person, I wouldn't call myself 100% FTM. That's because I'm not completely well, I don't want to go on, I don't know if I want to start hormones or not. There are reasons to say that I do, for a deeper voice and more muscle mass, and that it changes your appearance, but the main reason why I don't want to go on hormones is because I'm scared of how it might affect you mentally and if it might change you into a different person. So that worries me a bit, so that's what puts me off going on hormones. So I don't want to go through the transition just yet because I'm happy, well, sort of happy with where I am at the moment. I'm just trying to find somewhere that's comfortable for me. Although saying that, I do identify as a more masculine than feminine, obviously, looking at me. I prefer to be seen as male. I prefer to be accepted as male, and for people to use male pronouns and a male name. That just makes me feel more comfortable. When I was little, I wanted to be a boy, and I knew I probably should have been born a boy. So it's been in me from a young age that something was different. Didn't know what to call it until I got to uni. And before then, I identified as being gay, not lesbian. I don't really like the term lesbian. I find the word, don't like the word. But I still do identify as gay. In a gay community, I'm definitely not a straight male, because I'm only attracted to gay girls, so that's how I identify. But when I'm trying to explain it to people who don't understand it, and my computer's moving, sorry, what I say to them is, I'm not 100% male, I'm not 100% female, although I am female bodied and biologically female. I feel more masculine in myself, and that doesn't make me a butch lesbian because I don't look like one. I prefer to bite my chest because a flat chest makes me feel more like me. I'm kind of outside of binary genders, floating outside of the male and female boxes. But I prefer to be seen more as male, but I don't want to go through the transition. So that's what I try to explain to people when they ask me a question about it. I don't say, hello, this is me, by the way. If they take me as male, they take me as male. But if they sensibly ask me the question and politely ask me the question, then I'll give them an honest answer. How I first started, how I identify now, is a lot different to how I identified when I first was realising the whole transgenderism world, community, and I felt so out of place because I didn't understand it and I didn't know anyone else who was trans, that I felt that I needed a name to what I was going through and what I felt like. So I started talking to some people and looking up on YouTube what there was, and looking on the internet for what there was, and what fitted the best of what I was feeling at the time was to be called genderqueer. Well, I wasn't completely male, I wasn't completely female, I didn't really know where I was, but now I don't like that term, only because the terminology, I find, if you say it to someone, because they're not completely sure about the trans spectrum, they might take it wrong. So I don't really like that terminology anymore. I'd rather be seen as just masculine and male, even though I don't feel 100% male. I just prefer being seen in a more masculine light than anything else, so that's how I identify now, if that makes any sense. Also, going with like the genderqueer labelling system. Labelling systems in general, I don't really like them, but I think it's because of society that we feel the need to identify and label things, because if they're not, then they're weird and we don't like them. It's because society is so black and white and you have to belong to a box and you have to fit neatly into that little box, and if you don't, then you're outcasted and no one likes you. And that's what's put into us from a very, very young age. Everywhere you look in society, there's like labels, like even like in clothes stores, there's a male section, there's a female section. In, like Adam was talking about golf, there's men's and ladies, but why can't they just, why does everything have to be segregated? And it would be a perfect world if you could just be who you are and everyone got on with you, but unfortunately the mainstream of society don't allow that to happen, and they're the ones that are making it difficult for everyone else, and I don't agree with it at all. Well, that's how I feel about it anyway. My experiences with my identity have been quite interesting, especially when passing comes into play. At the moment, I think I pass quite a lot of the time. Since I've become a bit more comfortable with where I am and who I am and how I carry myself and how I dress. I do get a few weird looks sometimes. I feel like, especially if I'm in a situation where I don't feel comfortable, I have like a million eyes staring into me. But I blame that on my anxiety, because I have really bad social anxiety, which I'm on medication for at the moment, which is really helping. I do feel like I have to play up to my part, and I'll try and like be really macho, and then sometimes I'll forget myself, especially if I'm around my friends, or if I'm with like my family or something. I'll relax because I feel like I'm in a safe environment, and I'll forget myself and I'll start like getting excited and talking in a high voice, and people will turn around and be like, "What? Are you? Aren't you?" I might put another video up on my personal channel to explain this a bit better, but I've had like problems with uni, and I'm starting back this week actually, Tuesday, and yes, last week I went to go and see my tutor about starting again, and she's absolutely brilliant with everything. She like said I should come and chat with her about how I feel about starting uni again. And the main reason why I've been so apprehensive about going back is because of the whole gender thing. Well, one, it was because of anxiety, and I wasn't actually physically able to sit in a lecture theatre room without having a panic attack, so that's all sorted out now. I'm fine with that now. It's the gender thing that's the problem now. And we just sat and we had a chat about how I feel about it, and that I've had some bad experiences in the past. Like when I first started at JMU, I wasn't identifying as male, I was identifying as female, and now I'm going back as male. So we had a talk about that, and she was like, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a word with your tutor for your lecture and your seminar, which is a guy called Tim. If it's alright with you, I'll explain everything to him, let him know that on like the register and stuff you are female, because legally that's what you had to put down. But this is a situation, you're Chris, you want male pronouns, you want to come across as male, and what I'll get him to do is, in a seminar, I'll get him to introduce you as Chris, use male pronouns from the beginning, so you don't have to like be worried. So I'm actually really kind of looking forward to going back, because I really want to be at uni. So now I have to get on with some work. Fun, gotta read this, not all of it, but I gotta read some of it. So I'll see you all next week with the next topic, so see you later.